Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy Ruby. You know what it is. New week, new video. And Jags fans, you know this is for you. Happy victory in week one against the rivals, division rival Indianapolis Colts, who was starting Anthony Richardson, who, I got to be honest with you guys, I thought I'd see a better game than what I saw. Now, I'm happy that we won. Anthony Richardson, I expected to look like a rookie, and I actually expected a blowout. We did win by 10. But we didn't pull away from this game until late. And I don't necessarily want to say it's concerning. I'm not quite concerned. Let me tell you, if I have a concern, it's one thing. Okay. And that concern is before the game, I felt great about this season. However, for some reason, before the game, it was announced, Doug Peterson decided to let Press Taylor call the plays going forward this year. And it didn't feel good. Let me tell you why it didn't feel good, right? So Press Taylor is, I have zero issues with him being a offensive coordinator. He's been a guy that's kind of been around the league that's that people respect as a offensive mind. However, Doug Peterson comes from the Andy Reid coaching tree. And the reason Doug Peterson is here, and I love the coaching staff that they assembled last year in trying to get Trevor to, be what he is, which is an ascending talent. He was supposed to be this, prodigy, generational talent, right? And now you want to mold that guy. Well, the issue I have with that is just 1 year in, okay, and the offense was just it sputtered to begin the season last year, but once we got our groove, we went on a run and proceeded to make the playoffs. Now, we were expecting consistency. Now, Press Taylor's not a brand new coach, right? So, and the system hasn't changed. So there's consistency in the fact that, the playbook's the same, the verbiage is the same, but that's a different person calling those plays. That's a different feel, for the game. And to have Doug Peterson, you know what, I'll make it even simpler. Imagine you have Andy Reid, who is one of the most phenomenal play callers, offensive minds in all the league. Kyle Shanahan's another one. Imagine if Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid just abruptly said, hey, this guy's calling plays now. It wouldn't feel good, right? It wouldn't feel good because you want to continue to build on what you established last year. Now, going into this game, I thought we were sloppy. I thought we were very sloppy, which we can't afford. All of the hype around us revolves around the offense. Now, we have studs on the defense. We have athletic marvels on the defense in the front seven. However, we all know the defense is the weak link of the team as well, because what was an issue last year, we can't, like people want to say the pass rush, but it goes hand in hand with the secondary. We can't cover anybody outside of Tyson Campbell. We can't cover. We don't do a good job at covering the middle of the field in coverage. And, while Darius Williams moving to the other corner helps solidify, but that's like, that's not saying much. We were just so bad, right? I don't have a beef with Darius Williams, but he's not what I would consider a top flight corner. And he's just settling it down. Like, we don't have a completely trash other corner. But Darius Williams can be had. And the biggest guy that can be had is Rayshon Jenkins. Now, I know a lot of people love him because he flies around. He tends to make plays within what he's asked to do, which is, come downhill hard, hit players, blitz, wreak havoc. Those are things that he is definitely asked to do, and he's good at that. But when it comes to coverage, he's not good in coverage, and people like Patrick Mahomes eat that up. There were several times that there were guys flying wide open, and Anthony Richardson just didn't see him. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that because I don't want to take this entire time to bash the defense, because there's a lot that I do like about this defense, and I'll get to that in a second. But what I'm saying is we can't really afford the hiccups on offense because the offense has to buoy the team. Anything we get from the defense is just kind of gravy. But the offense is what the team is predicated on. And this is actually something didn't want to happen when we were looking for an OC, not an OC, a head coach. And I was telling you guys I was a Todd Bowles guy, not just Todd Bowles, but I wanted a defensive head coach because I believe in hiring the defensive minded head coach and making sure he gets a good offensive staff, right? Because defensive coaches understand, they have an appreciation for some of the small things that I think go unstated these days. Clock management, running the ball, making sure you're always ahead of the sticks. Like those are things that defensive coaches pay attention to. When you're an offensive minded team, like I feel like that focus shifts more to big plays. They don't focus so much on the smaller details. And give you an example, right? So early last year, I thought we got way too cute in short yardage situations. I feel like a defensive minded coach would understand the easiest way to get 1 yard is to go straight for the 1 yard. And early last season, we did a lot of trying to run outside zones, do just stupid shit like that, and we lost a lot of fourth downs. And that's not to say that stuff doesn't work, but I consider that getting too cute. This game had a lot of those same issues. We missed fourth downs or short yardage situations, trying to string plays wide, which the reason I'm not a fan of stringing plays wide, unless you've already been pounding them, bludgeoning them up the gut. Like I don't mind you once in a while calling a play that goes wide just to get them off balance. But the problem is we're known for wanting to go wide. So what happens is when they're expecting you to go wide, right? And you're down to two brand new tackles essentially, because while Walker Little's been here, he hasn't been a starter long, and we're starting a rookie tackle. If it's not blocked right, you give the linebackers a chance to read it and react to it. That's why I'm not a fan of the stringing the plays wide. Just line up and punch it down their throat. It's demoralizing. Defensive coaches understand that. Now, it is what it is. We're not going to draft or sign a defensive-minded head coach. We're not firing Doug P. Now I'm with it. I was happy that we signed an NFL quarterback, but I want him to make the damn play calls. I want the guy that is a descendant of Andy Reid to get us on par with making 30 points a game. And now we scored those 30 points, but it was a very ugly game. I got to tell you, we were not crisp whatsoever. I still see some of the issues that's reared his ugly head with trying to get too cute in short yardage. Trevor Lawrence accuracy kind of comes and goes when he's on the move. Great news. Calvin Ridley looked awesome, and I think it's going to be a problem for the league. But where was Christian Kirk? I felt like there was a lot of too much focus on Calvin Ridley, and I think that's something that can be exploited. I just think we can do a better job as a team offensively with being more unpredictable and being more physical. I felt like the Colts were bullying us a little bit early, and we allowed them to think they could win the game, and we really should have stomped that out early. So happy we got the win. I just don't think we put our best foot forward, and it's not the kind of win I wish we had going into Kansas City and an angry Kansas City team. And they're actually coming in, but we're getting an angry Kansas City team after the way they just lost the other night. They're going to be coming for blood. We should be pumped up for them, but I would have liked to have carried over more momentum into that game. This is going to be a huge game against Kansas City this Sunday. So, with that being said, defensively, I don't think we played that bad defensively. Like I said, there were some issues with coverage that is to be expected. We play an attacking 3-4. When you play, and I've never been a fan of the 3-4 for that reason, because when you play an attacking 3-4, it's heavy on blitz schemes. And while it's great for making big plays happen, it's also not so great for allowing big plays. It's a very boom or bust type of system we run. And when you don't have the kind of athletes in the secondary required to kind of cover that stuff up, you're going to give up a lot of big plays. But you're going to also make big plays. So there's the trade-off. It's, we expected to have a high-flying offense, score close to 30 points a game, and we expected to have an opportunistic defense. I told a friend that I expected this defense to be very opportunistic, because we blitz very well. All of our defensive front seven can blitz very well, and they create. When we come off the bus, you see defensive stud after defensive stud in terms of just makeup, build. We have athletic freaks and everything. Travon Walker got him a sack this last Sunday. It was good to see, but the real sight for sore eyes, and a lot of you haters need to go ahead and apologize to Josh Allen, because I'm scared you guys are going to run him off. He's in a contract year and ripped off 3 sacks yesterday. And not only did he rip off 3 sacks, he was chasing Anthony Richardson down from all over the place. And Anthony Richardson is an athletic freak of nature. So I don't think you guys realize how special Josh Allen is. A lot of, is he Nick Bosa? No, I wouldn't put him on that level, but he's so much better than you guys even understand. I know that the sack numbers don't necessarily reflect it, but I think we have a fundamental kind of misunderstanding of how sacks work. And number one is you got to have time to get the sacks. That kind of happens when you don't have great coverage. But number two, just general help, right? So they can't just focus on Josh Allen with Travon Walker on the other side. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to get pushed. Sometimes give the man some help. He's constantly in the backfield. He's constantly hurrying the quarterback. He's fringe top 10-ish in terms of just pressuring the quarterback in terms of pass rush. I think that's something that goes on missed, because some people look at the stat sheet and just look at, he didn't get any sacks. They don't look at how many times he's flashing, making the quarterback move, creating bad passes, things like that. We had another corner, safety, if not both, and this is why I was very disappointed in the draft this year, in terms of just not adding to that, finding somebody. Particularly, Keely Ringo just kept falling in the draft, and at one point he was a consensus top corner coming from Georgia. I couldn't believe that in the 3rd round, I believe he didn't even go into the 4th to Philly. The fact that we didn't pull the trigger on that really blew my mind. I like the draft picks we got, but there's no bigger hole we have than in the secondary on the defense. So we'll see where we go from here. It's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think we're going to have opportunities to hit Patrick Mahomes, because I think the Chiefs have made a huge mistake in their tackle signings. They signed Donovan Smith to man the left tackle and Jawan Taylor to man the right. And Jawan Taylor, you guys know I was never a fan of him. He looked so bad. I was embarrassed because I had to claim that, that guy came from Jacksonville. And I know the look is, this is what Jaguars put out there or whatever. The false starting, the lining up so far back that he looks like a slot receiver or a tight end. It was ridiculous. But can Josh Allen and Travon Walker take advantage of that this weekend? I'm hyped for it. Let's go. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Let me know what you think. I'll be looking at the comments. All right, peace.